Action! What is wrong with me? Turn that off, let me see this shit. There you go. Okay guys, we're back at SR as promised. I couldn't do it in the last video, but I wanted to show you guys how Martin lowers a Lamborghini Aventador. In this case, an Aventador S, but the same suspension, maybe not the same brand, but it's the same way it's set up. So you can use this on a 2012 and up Aventador, Aventador S, SV, SVJ, probably all the exact same. So what we're doing today is we're gonna take all 4 struts out. So Kevin, come here. I'll show you. Watch out. We're gonna take all these struts out. These are the fronts, which are cantilever style. Then we're gonna go to the back, where Martin's working right now. We're gonna pull out both the rear suspensions here. We're gonna grab these out, and then we're gonna lower the spring perch, and we're gonna bring it down. So anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1 inch of travel is going to happen in here. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna lower the car, and then we're gonna show you how it looks at the end of the video. So keep watching, and we'll lower this Aventador. So guys, just so you know, when you open the hood of a Aventador or Aventador S or any Lambo of this, well, 2012 and up Aventador, you don't just see the suspension and the battery there. There is a tub that goes all around through here that you can put junk in, which is right there. We've already pulled that tub out. While we're installing it, I'll show you how to pull it out for the future, but it's quite simple. There's just a bunch of bolts and one cowl piece right here, and then you get access to this whole suspension area right here. Okay guys, to get to the rear suspension, to have enough working area back here on any of the Aventador models, this one has a carbon engine bay. It's an Aventador S. So Martin's already loosened the back, so you gotta be careful. These screws stay on the panel because they have these retaining rings back there. So just be careful when you're pulling it out. It's a very simple piece to take out. It has maybe 10 screws on it. So once you do that, you have full access to the rear suspension, where you can get to all the points where you can take the suspension out and start lowering it. Okay guys, so I showed you the driver's side suspension, which Martin had already lowered on this side. So as you can see, Martin just pointed out to me that the gap between here and here is a lot bigger than the gap between here and here. What is that, the cabin filter or something like that? Yeah, that looks like the cabin filter. So what Martin's gonna do is you're gonna loosen the sway bar and pull the sway bar out. Correct. Okay, so he's gonna pull the sway bar out so we can undo the shock and still have enough space to slide it out this way. So this is unforeseen circumstance, but it seems easy enough to do, especially because I'm not doing it. Okay guys, just so you know, when you're removing the front suspension from the Öhlins nose lift, you got to pull this hydraulic line, so be very careful. It is a 12 mil wrench. Martin only uses snap-on because he rolls like that, but I don't know if you can see it, but Martin, there it is. It's a 12 mil on top of the hydraulic line right there. Just be sure you don't strip it, because that would be a very costly mistake. Martin always using the lazy techniques. I don't know what I just did. So Martin has now just easily moved the sway bar out of the way, just like Zoe. And I said Zoe because I may be Yerman. And he's now going to pull this BWI group shock out with the Öhlins nose lift system. And voila, Martin has it out. Martin, show him what the nose lift shock looks like. So guys, this is literally a regular shock absorber, but Öhlins makes this adapter, which is technically the nose lift system. So there's hydraulic pressure right here. If Martin would stop moving it, there's hydraulic pressure that goes in here that lifts the shock this way and lowers it when they press the button in the car, and that gives the nose that extra, what is it, an 1.5 inch lift or something like that? Maybe a couple inch lift or whatever. But anyway, long story short, it's a really nice piece. Now we're going to put it on the strut tamer and lower this one last front suspension. Okay, so we're following Martin back to the strut tamer with the front suspension. Front suspension's a little bit different, guys, because it has the nose lift, but other than that, it should be somewhat close. So we're gonna line it up with in the, what do we call these? Jaws? Grappling thingies? Martin, help me here.
I don't know. Jaws?
Grippy things. Okay, well, obviously he's not saying much, so it's the strut tamer, ladies and gentlemen. It's the strut tamer. So looking at this one, it looks like it has more space, but Martin really measured it and it was almost identical. So anyway, he's turning the strut tamer. Oh.
I already loosened it.
Oh, you already loosened that one? I'm like, oh, that was quite simple. Okay, so guys, in the last clip, we thought this and this were attached to each other, but apparently they are not attached to each other, but they both do spin quite simply like that. So he's just literally spinning it to the end of the thread where the jam nut is, and then once it's tight, he will put pressure on the spring again and then tighten the jam nut, and that is it. So much easier. So ladies and gentlemen, I just read something on the side of it. It's called a locking jaw. It is not called the thingy, it's called a locking jaw that holds the spring. Just an FYI, if you read about the strut tamer, you will know. You naysayers right here, I kept saying Öhlins, Öhlins, Öhlins. So this is off a 2013, 14, 15 Aventador. And look at that. Öhlins. I told you guys. So you're probably wondering why the spring color is different. Well, in the earlier years of Aventadors, you could order the rear spring because it was the only visible one in whatever color you wanted. So in this car's case, we ordered a yellow spring. The front spring is black because, again, it's concealed underneath that tub. Now, in the case of this suspension right here, it's missing the nose lift because we moved it to the other vehicle. But my point is that Öhlins is much better than BWI over there. At me, and so is Kevin, and they're saying, Raymond, you're an idiot, because I'm still looking at these shocks and comparing them. But there is one other big difference that unfortunately the Öhlins cannot win the battle in, is that the BWI setup has the mag ride system. So unfortunately, everything I've basically said in the last few clips is useless. The BWI system has mag ride. It's for the Aventador S and the newer Aventadors. The Öhlins setup were for the regular suspension cars, which were the 2014 to probably 2016 cars. Anyway, long story short, I proved the point, kind of. So Martin is reinserting tab A into slot B, and he is putting in the replica Öhlins. What do you think? You like that word, replica?
Sure. It's not a replica.
Okay, long story short, he's putting it back in, so we will have a lowered Aventador for Mr. That Guy. Guys, before we even get to the back, you got to take the wheels off and the fender liners. Martin has this Porsche tool that he's always used. I don't know what Porsche he got it out of, but it's really a handy tool. He takes one lug nut out, puts the tool in, and then takes the last bolt out, and then check this out. It literally, the wheel slides on this rod so you don't damage the caliper. See that? How amazing is that? More people need to use that, because if I could tell you how many times I've seen damage on these calipers here because wheels have dropped on him on the inside of the wheels specifically and hit that caliper and damaged it. So Martin uses this tool on all the cars he takes the wheels off of. It's a really cool piece of kit. So after you take the wheels off, the first thing you got to do is you got to take the fender liners off, the rear one specifically. Martin's already loosened this one, so he's just gonna pull it out. Be very careful with it, guys. They're expensive. And there it is. So you can see once the fender liner is out, you're wide open to get to the shock and all the bolts right here. Okay, and last but not least, the right rear suspension. The passenger side, Martin's taking the last bolt out. We slide that out, take it to the strut tamer, and viola. We're done, right, Martin?
Correct.
That is what I like about you. There you go. Martin, because I like you, I'm going to help you with this. And wash the cable, because I made the point to wash the cable. Now Martin's going to make fun of me all the time. Okay, so it's out. We're walking backwards and going to, yes, the strut tamer. So Martin is going to use this strut tamer extreme to mount the suspension. He's doing it upside down because it holds the spring better. He's using these claws that he tightens down on the highest part of the spring, and then we turn the wheel here to compress the spring to give us a chance to undo the jam nut over here. It's quite a simple process, guys. If you don't have a strut like a spring compressor at home, be very, very careful, guys. These springs are under a lot of pressure. Basically what I'm saying is don't do it at home. So before I put the wheels back on, our customer brought his own spacers, which are actually really, really a nice machined fit. It's called Ultimate Performance. This one is a 15 mil spacer, and I believe he told me the rear is a 20, but look how well it fits in the groove here. If I wasn't, there it is. So see how nice that fits in there. That's really, really a nice setup, and it's pocketed for weight. Really a nice spacer, probably one of the better ones I've seen. Okay, it's coming down. It's the moment of truth. Kevin is stressed out. Martin wants to go home. The car's coming down, and here it is. Oh my God, it's so low. Not yet. Oh, Martin, you're killing us. Martin, you're killing us. So, ladies and gentlemen, just so you guys know, the car's gonna be fairly low, so we always put blocks or something underneath it so the jack arms can come out. Martin was not born yesterday, and it's not his first rodeo. Put the car down, Martin, and stop! Stop! Oh, it's not even low yet. Okay, go. Let's see what happened here. Oh no, we're on the jack. Well, that kind of sucks. Okay, so Martin was about to lift the nose of the vehicle, but we decided to do a quick cold start for you. Here we go. Aventador S, Lamborghini. And last but not least, before we hand it over, you torque it. Martin, what's the torque spec on this?
105.
105. Now, he's a Lambo technician and he says 105. I don't believe him, but make sure whatever vehicle you guys are torquing, you know the exact spec. It's the most important part at the end of you working on your car. So guys, Martin's finished lowering the car. I'm gonna quickly go around the block to see if it bottoms out or if anything's rubbing with the spacers and the lowering. I'll show you in a second how low it went. I'm just gonna go around and see if the springs settle a little. It looks really good for a daily driver. It's lowered, it looks like about half an inch or so, maybe 3/4 of an inch. With the spacers, it looks really, really good with the Aptec wheels. So I'm gonna go for a quick drive around the block and I'm gonna see how it is, and I'll show you what it looks like when I get back. totally forgot how good these things feel. I haven't driven an Aventador for a long time, but the S really has a good punch. Now, Martin, look at it. It actually looks quite the part. Remember in the earlier when I put my fingers in and I was wiggling it? Now it's actually quite tight to the thing. So I think we went at least half an inch down. I think a little bit more, maybe 3/4 of an inch. And the rear even looks quite, yeah, it looks really good. I think these spacers, so 15 millimeters in the front, 20 millimeters in the back, and just the factory lowering is really a good setup for everyday driving. The thing looks awesome, right, Martin? What do you think? Like it's like the Novatec ones are way too low, even though I like gangbang low, but I think this is a really nice setup. It looks awesome. Look how flush it is on the side. Like, look how, so 15 mil in the front and 20 mil in the back. It's a really nice setup. So all we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna probably throw it in the alignment rack. We're not even gonna bother with that in this video. It will need an alignment. We'll get that done, and then she's ready to go. So guys, I hope you enjoyed us doing the video on the Aventador S lowering. It was just a quick how-to video. It was a Sunday, we decided to throw it together. Again, like, subscribe, and comment below if you have anything that you think we could do better. If you have any other questions or if you want us to work on any other cars, comment below. I hope you liked the video. We'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.